shot at Josh Rosen when he was explaining millennials and that they always have to ask why and explain things.
If Josh Rosen needs to be coddled, don't draft him.
Hold on. Asking why is asking to be coddled?
I don't think you go and act bothered by a comment from a coach. That looks to me needy and insecure.
No, okay, but for Jim Mora, and I like Jim Mora, and I'm not sure if it was a shot, but it kind of sounded like one. If he's criticizing Josh Rosen for being the kind of guy that has to ask why and have things explained, I don't see a problem with that.
I think Twitter reveals a lot.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the first part of it, not the action afterwards. I'm talking about why is Jim Mora saying that there's something wrong with Josh Rosen needing to ask why?
I think he's just reacting because he got a lot of pushback on media yesterday. Mora got ripped by a lot of people, so he reacts.
Before that, not now. Like, why does Jim Mora have a problem with Josh Rosen in general while he was coaching him?
Because
being
he
the kind
is
of guy that needs an explanation.
Because he's kind of difficult.
Okay, well, I would argue that millennials, right? Because he's referring to millennials needing to have things explained and asking why.
Right.
I don't see a problem with that at all. Yes, I am a millennial, but I ask why all the time, and it's not because I'm difficult. Doug's agreeing with me. Not because I'm being difficult, but or questioning you, just because I'm genuinely curious and I want to understand to the fullest amount that I can.
That's why I didn't think what Morris said was that big of a deal.
It wasn't. I don't think it was meant as a compliment.
Well, it may not have been meant as a compliment, but I don't think a coach should have to come out and say just all these bon mots and all these, if somebody called me and said, "Oh, Christine, she's the best, the smartest," I would say she works her butt off, she's good, good teammate, blah 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 blah. But if somebody asked me a question, I'd say, "Well, she could work on this." I don't think it's a criticism. I think I'm being honest. If somebody asked you about me, you'd be like, "He works hard, blah blah," but sometimes he can be difficult. That's not a criticism. That's honest. I'm not bothered by that.
I agree. If you were to say to somebody, if they were asking for a criticism on me, and you said, well, she asks why a lot, I would hope that person's reaction was, well, good, because she's in the media business. She should ask why. Yeah,
I mean, I don't think anything he said, nothing Mora has said has bothered me whatsoever. Honestly, he didn't lay down on the tracks, but it's like, I actually think I am so tired of college coaches saying, God, every guy that leaves Kentucky, Calipari's like, oh, my God, he's the best kid. He's unbelievable.
I get it. You should have criticism, and he's completely entitled to it, and maybe he's accurate. I'm just saying, as a millennial, I am completely okay with the question why, because I ask it a million times a day, and I'm not questioning your authority, because I know a lot of non-millennials think that that's what we're doing, and it's not. We just are genuinely very curious. But Josh Rosen reacted to all of this on Twitter, and I think it's kind of funny. He tweeted why with the little emoji and hashtag why, and he also tweeted opinions, hashtag things people take too seriously. So I think he's referring...
That I agree with.
That people are taking this
too
people
seriously? People are reading way too much into the Mora stuff, and I get it because Rosen's a quarterback, and he's great, and the draft is wildly popular. It's now like on 17 networks. So, I understand, he's a quarterback, and he's going to go to a big city, and I get it. This story is really a 2018 story. Where 15 years ago, would this have been as big a deal? But I think social media creates this tyranny of the mob and pile on, and oh my God, can you believe it? And I'm like, it doesn't bother me at all.
See, I think it is a bigger deal, not because of the tweet, but because there are so many people who are annoyed with millennials and their questions, and that can be seen as difficult.
Yeah, I think that's true.
But it's not. Like, why are people so upset with millennials wanting to learn and being curious?
Well, as long as it doesn't make you impossible to coach, I agree.
Okay. Am I impossible to coach?
No, but I think some millennials think they have all the answers and they're 24.
You think well, I'm not 24.
You're not 24. You're like 30.
Oh, you guys. I can't wait for you to come on, Doug. I'm 31. Kyle Shanahan is talking about Jimmy Garoppolo and that they knew after only 3 games that he was their guy. And this is quite a long soundbite, so just bear with it because he says some pretty interesting things here.
It took about 3 weeks. He had to go out there and play. And I thought we were in a good situation after our first year in terms of record-wise. We weren't in a great situation, but I thought we were in a good situation to find a very good quarterback. Jimmy kind of fell into our laps for a second-round pick, and I knew how talented he was from college, spent a lot of time on him. We loved his 2 games we evaluated. So once we knew we could get him for a second-round pick, that's something that we would not have hesitated on. We knew a guy possibly like Kirk Cousins was going to become available most likely in free agency. We also didn't have 1 win, so we thought we might have the first pick in the draft, and a bunch of good quarterbacks are coming out. So we knew we were in a good situation, and we weren't just going to jump in, hey, we got Jim, he's played in 2 games, let's sign him long-term and just bypass maybe the first pick in the draft or someone like Kirk in free agency. So we just played it out and see what would happen, and Jimmy went out there and played very well. In the first game, I was extremely excited. The second game, I was even more excited. By the third game, I think, we all kind of forgot about free agency and about the draft, and we're like, all right, we can isolate on one guy right now, and we were very happy that it happened.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't see how talented he is, you don't get football. This has never been a toughie.
Right, but that just makes me think, if they knew in 3 games, this sounds like maybe even 1, the Patriots had to know what they had.
Oh, God, yes, they knew, which is why I still can't. The team that just befuddles me, and I think they have a bunch of smart guys, I don't get Arizona. I don't understand. Arizona's the only NFC team that had, for like 2 years, 3, it's not like Carson Palmer fell off a cliff. Like Carson Palmer, you've seen it happening gradually. It's like, we got to get a quarterback. We got to get a quarterback. Oh, my God, he just retired. We got to get a quarterback. Garoppolo was sitting out there, and I just don't get it. And then you got Goff in your division, and Garoppolo in your division, and Russell Wilson in your division. You got Aaron Rodgers. You got Carson Wentz. You start looking around the NFC, it's like you got Drew Brees, who, by the way, still got 2 or 3 years left. Garoppolo, listen, I don't even do this for a living. Garoppolo was out there. I watched him play 15 times in preseason, regular season. It's like, yes, he's obviously going to be a great player. Like, don't get me wrong, I thought Mark Sanchez would be better eventually over time, and it didn't work out. But I mean, a lot of these guys are obvious busts, or obviously really, Andrew Luck was obviously really talented. Like, I don't understand Garoppolo. Like, the people now in the NFL are like, well, I mean, he caught everybody by surprise. Are you watching the games? It's not hard. It's not that hard with Garoppolo. Garoppolo was not a hard one to figure out. Derek Carr, by like the second year, you're like, hey, he's doing some special stuff. Right. He's pretty good. It's pretty obvious he can play. Yep.
And finally, your favorite clip was this, besides from Rob Gronkowski and his clip, I think this Dario Saric clip might be your favorite of the year so far, where he's saying that he does not want to.
That's my favorite.
Right. He doesn't want to play LeBron. He's very honest about it. So let me just refresh your memory. We'll play that clip fast.
Are you intimidated by anybody?
No, I don't want to play against LeBron. He's obviously, in the top 3 players in the world, in the history maybe, and I don't want to judge him. Everybody else, are welcome to come here.
It's so good. I appreciate the honesty. I don't want to play LeBron.
I love that guy.
There's a new one.
Oh, there is?
Yes. I thought of you immediately
when
I saw this. Wizards guard Tomas Satoransky was asked the same question, like, is there anybody that you don't want to play? And he also is very honest.
You mentioned Cleveland may not be the best path a second ago. Is the obvious LeBron, or is there just something...
I don't know. I don't know how the teams look at it, but I look at it from my personal perspective as because of LeBron, obviously. He always stepped up his level in the playoffs, and it's very challenging to play him first round. And he hasn't lost the playoff game for 8 years? I know. It's a stat. The stats are meant to be broken, but I would probably be pleased with a different matchup for us.
I would be pleased with a different matchup for us. But by the way, he said that LeBron hasn't lost a playoff game in 8 years, which is highly untrue.
Right.
But I get what he's
saying.
Listen,
the European guys don't feel pressure from the American media to be macho and say, I want LeBron. European guys are like, he's great, I'd rather not play him. It's so great.
Thank you. It's very funny. I like it.
All right, Christine with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Line
Let's bring in Doug Gottlieb. Of course, we bring in Doug Gottlieb today, our college basketball analyst, a great player, a great analyst, Fox Sports Radio, right after our show. All right.
I do not want to play LeBron.
No,
thank you very much.
That is so funny.
It was amazing.
It is amazing. It's great. Let's just start with Villanova. Wrap a bow around it, Doug. What does it mean for the sport? First of all, we both like Jay Wright.
Yes.
He's a good dude. My takeaway at the top was, 4 years ago I was told in college basketball, experience doesn't matter. It matters, and it mattered for Carolina,